we pause for a second or two. This is episode 72, Tension, part 2. Last time, when we talked about tension, we talked about that over time we accumulate tension throughout our bodies. And we said that this tension throughout our bodies, as it builds up, we become like these metal springs, like a very tense metal spring. And as we live our lives, this potential energy, this tension, can snap, and something acute can happen, something sudden, possibly something violent or dangerous. When people do rash things, when people do stupid things, impulsive, dangerous things, they are always tense. Always. Today, we will talk about one important specific tension in our bodies. We will talk about a very exact tension, pinpoint tension. Last time we talked about tension in somewhat general terms, and we accustomed ourselves to the concept of physical tension, and that it is relevant for why sudden situations occur. But today we will look at this pinpoint tension. So first we will look at a few aspects of our physiology that is relevant moving forward. So if we start with our perception, our senses, human beings are very visual. Our visual information make up a lot of our prioritized information. So we use our eyes very much, almost all the time, more than any other sense. We use eyes, our eyes. And nowadays, with all the screens, the digital screens, with the blue light, the sharp, bright light, we strain our eyes very much. In further, we human beings, our brains are developed in a way that is unusual for other mammals. Our frontal cortex, the tissue of the brain that is right behind the forehead, and especially the tissue behind our eyebrows and in between our eyebrows. This tissue is very developed. This tissue is very high function, high maintenance. It consumes vast amounts of energy. And that is why, as we think a lot or work on a difficult problem, we can feel that our forehead is going really hot. So that was the second aspect of our physiology. Our eyes and our forehead, our frontal cortex. And then the third part we will touch upon is the more primitive parts of our brain. The more hormonal parts of our brain, deeper in behind our eyes. Thalamus and hypothalamus and all of those parts. As society enters stressful times, there is conflict in the air. Everybody's nervous. And so these more primitive parts of our brain are working like crazy. They are more strained than they were in peacetime, when it was more calm. Now we have talked about the three parts that are under extra strain right now. Our eyes, our frontal cortex, the tissue of the brain behind the forehead, and the more primitive parts of our brain producing all the hormones right now. And in between these three, there is tissue, muscle tissue. And today we will pinpoint this tissue and address and learn how to affirm the tension in this tissue. It is very effective addressing this specific physical tension. So now I will walk you through it. So if you close your eyes, we kind of don't want to do this. It can feel counterintuitive to do this. But as we close our eyes, we can feel that we are tired, very tired, in our eyes, in our forehead, and sort of behind our eyes and above our eyes. And as you start to identify this muscle tissue, especially the tissue around your eyes and especially the tissue above your eyes, then chances are high that your eyes want to, and the tissue above your eyes want to sort of tense up or almost cramp a little. And I'm doing the same now. So now my eyes and the tissue around them are doing this squinting, and it's almost like I want to roll my eyeballs. It's a bit graphic, but it's almost like I want to roll my eyeballs in different directions and sort of allow the tension to say something, allow the tension to cramp up a little. And maybe my forehead is frowning. Maybe I want to grimace, make some sort of face. And we're doing it just by ourselves, so no one needs to see. And make some sort of face. And we can really feel how tired we are in the eyes, in our frontal cortex, and deeper inside our brain, behind the eyes. And the thing is, this specific tension, this pinpoint muscle tension, it's really effective to affirm this tension, to allow this tension to sort of tighten up sometimes in our company, as we're doing right now. We use our eyes all the time. We think about problem solving all the time using our frontal cortex. And we care a lot about our lives. We feel a lot. So the hormonal parts of our brains are also very high functioning right now. And addressing this pinpoint tension, if we do this, when we do this, now, when we do this, it changes how we feel about the rest of the tension in our body. Our eyes, our frontal cortex, and our more primal parts of our brain, these three are very much in charge of our higher functions in our body. So as we address the tension between these three and allow them to speak, allow them to release some of that tension, it changes how tension feels throughout our bodies. Personally, I like doing this sort of focus exercise, this sort of tension release, every time I lie down. The more I do it, the more I want to do it. It can feel like in time It can feel like house cleaning, like cleaning your kitchen. It's very nice when you're done and it's clean. It's the same. And addressing this specific tension above our eyes, below our frontal cortex, and in front of our more primitive parts of the brain, like inside, it is very effective and it is very nice. And yeah, we look really stupid while doing it. Or we can look angry or scary while we do it. But who cares? It's part of it. So in the Polaroid, for specific skill tension, you see an image of me doing a version of this exercise, allowing the muscle tissue around the eyes to just tense up. It looks bad, but it's really nice. And that is often the case, that something may look very unconventional, but be very effective. And besides, we're just doing it by ourselves, so it doesn't matter. In summary, we are really using and pressuring our eyes to the max. And if we are ambitious people with high standards, we are also pushing our frontal cortex to the max and restraining ourselves in times of conflict. We are also straining our hormonal parts of the brain. Tension is building up between these. And pinpointing this tension allows us to feel perhaps not more relaxed throughout our bodies, but more okay with our bodies, more fine with it. It sort of releases some of the tension that is behind sudden acute situations. It feels really good. That's it for today. Thank you.